My sister faked a suicide scare to steal my college fund, so I leak her secret OnlyFans to our entire church congregation. The irony isn't lost on me that Mia is celebrating her 22nd birthday at the country club today, the same place where, 3 years ago, she staged a dramatic breakdown that changed the course of my life. Our birthdays are exactly 5 weeks apart, mine in late spring, hers at the height of summer. But in our family, summer belonged to Mia. Her birthday wasn't just a day. It was a season of preparation. My mother would start planning in May. Themes, caterers, guest lists for a party that always, inevitably, swallowed my own celebration. My birthday was treated as a quiet afterthought, a family dinner where the conversation invariably circled back to how wonderful Mia's party had been and what a hard act to follow. I was the sequel no one asked for. This dynamic calcified over years. Mia, the charismatic social butterfly, and me, Lily, the quiet bookworm. My parents saw her popularity as a reflection of their success, her constant social engagements as proof of a well-adjusted daughter. My preference for solitude was treated as a problem to be solved, a sign of some inherent lack they tried to fill by pushing me into Mia's spotlight, where I always dimmed in comparison. 3 years ago, the summer I was 17, the stakes changed. My grandfather, who saw the disparity with clearer eyes, left me a dedicated college fund in his will, a substantial sum meant to cover tuition at the design school of my dreams. He left Mia an equal amount, but hers was unrestricted. Mia blew through hers in under a year on a convertible, designer clothes, and a trip to Cabo with friends. Mine was locked in a trust, accessible only for educational expenses, with my father as the trustee. Mia was furious. The idea that I had something she couldn't touch, something that gave me a future independent of our family's skewed economy, ate at her. The summer of her 19th birthday, the planning was more extravagant than ever, a clear attempt to overshadow my recent graduation and my impending freedom. I ignored it, buried in sketchbooks and college portfolios. Then, 2 days before a country club birthday party, the world stopped. My mother screamed from the garden. We found Mia by the pool house, an empty bottle of prescription pills, our mother's sleeping aids, clutched in her hand, a hastily scribbled note about the pressure of perfection and feeling unseen beside her. The ambulance, the tears, the frantic phone calls. In the hospital, as Mia slept off the induced vomiting and fluids, the doctor was cautiously optimistic but grave. "She's lucky," he said. It was a cry for help. She needs support, not judgment. The family mobilized around her with an intensity I'd never seen. The party was canceled, but a somber, supportive gathering took its place at our house. In the midst of it, Mia, pale and wrapped in a blanket, held my mother's hand and whispered, "I just felt so empty." Seeing Lily have her whole future mapped out, so sure of herself, it highlighted everything I'm not. A week later, my father called me into his study. His face was drawn. "Lily," he began, "we've had long talks with Mia's therapist. This incident, it's shown a profound instability, a fragile sense of self-worth tied to material and social validation." He cleared his throat. "Your grandfather's fund, while for education, it represents a stability, a certainty that Mia feels she lacks. The therapist thinks that transferring the fund to Mia to allow her to pursue a therapeutic program abroad, a fresh start in a new environment without competitive triggers, could be foundational to her recovery." I was stunned. "You want me to give her my college money?" "It's not giving," my mother said, entering the room, her eyes red-rimmed. "It's an investment in your sister's life, Lily. We can take out loans for your school. But Mia needs this. Now, after what she tried to do, can you really put a price on her well-being? Would your grandfather have wanted his gift to cause this?" The guilt was a physical weight. The image of Mia by the pool house, the frantic ride in the ambulance, my mother's devastated face. They played on a loop. My dreams felt selfish in the face of a potential tragedy. After a week of pressure, of being told I was prioritizing art over family, of seeing my father's disappointment when I hesitated, I broke. I signed the papers relinquishing my claim to the trust fund. Mia's recovery was miraculously swift. Within a month, she was planning her therapeutic gap year in Italy. Cooking classes in Tuscany, art history in Florence, all funded by my grandfather's money. She left with a new wardrobe and a grateful, if distant, hug for me. "Thank you for understanding," she said, her eyes clear and bright. No trace of the hollow look from the hospital remained. I spent the next 2 years working 2 jobs, attending community college, and taking out staggering loans to transfer to a state school for design. The resentment was a slow-burning coal in my chest, but I banked it, focusing on survival. Mia returned from Italy tanned, fluent in charmingly broken Italian, and with new passion, digital content creation. She became a wellness and lifestyle influencer. Her social media, a curated stream of yoga poses, avocado toast, and inspirational quotes about authenticity. My parents beamed with pride. Their investment had paid off. Mia was thriving, an entrepreneur. We coexisted in chilly civility when she was home. I never mentioned the money. She never thanked me. It was a family's great unspoken truth. Everything changed last month. Mia was home for the summer, preparing for her 22nd birthday bash, a rebirth party back at the country club, symbolizing her journey from darkness to light. I was there, of course, expected to attend, to smile, to be part of the family portrait. The night before the party, a storm knocked out the internet. Mia was frantic, needing to upload content for her sponsors. "Use my laptop," I said reluctantly, pointing to my old machine on the desk. The password is the usual. I left her in my room and went to make coffee. When I returned, she was gone, the laptop asleep. I woke it up to close my browser tabs. And there it was. A single tab was open, but not to a social media site. It was to a cloud storage drive, logged in with her account. She must have uploaded her files and forgotten to log out. Curiosity, that old enemy, stirred. I clicked on a folder labeled Brand Assets. Instead of media kits and rate cards, I found another folder hidden inside several layers named F. Inside were hundreds of files, photos, videos, spreadsheets. My blood ran cold. The photos were of Mia, but not the Mia of Instagram. These were explicit, professionally lit boudoir and fetish-themed images. The videos were short clips in the same vein. The spreadsheets were financials, tracking payments from a subscription platform. Screen names, dates, earnings. Mia had a secret, highly lucrative OnlyFans. The pieces snapped together with a sickening clarity. The therapeutic program in Italy, funded by my money, but also by this, the designer clothes, the luxury apartment she hinted at in her vlogs. Not just influencer deals. This was her real enterprise, and the amounts were staggering. She had made over triple what my college fund was worth in the last year alone. But the true vertigo hit when I opened a subfolder labeled Concept. Inside were mood boards and narrative scripts. One script titled The Breaking Point Story Outline detailed a fictionalized version of her suicide attempt. It was framed as a raw, shared vulnerability content arc for her platform. Photos from that day, actual photos taken by my mother before the ambulance arrived, Mia's tear-streaked face, the empty pill bottle, were used as visuals in the mock-up. She had storyboarded her own family's trauma as a marketing tool to drive engagement and subscriptions. A note on the side read, "Audience responds to real trauma, creates parasocial bond, monetize the recovery journey." I sat there, numb. The crisis, the hospital, the guilt that had cost me my future. It had all been a calculated performance. A lie to get my money, yes, but worse, a lie she was planning to repackage and sell to strangers. The emotional carnage she'd left in our family was just content fodder. Confronting her was pointless. She was a master manipulator. Telling my parents? They'd never believe me. I'd be the jealous sister trying to sabotage Mia's authentic success. The evidence on the laptop would be dismissed as a hack, a deep fake, my own malicious creation. The next evening, the country club was decorated in tasteful gold and white. Mia held court in a flowing white dress, the picture of redeemed wellness. My parents glowed, welcoming their church friends, our extended family, Mia's influencer colleagues. Pastor Evans was there, complimenting my parents on raising such an inspiring young woman. A large screen was set up for a surprise retrospective of Mia's journey. She handed a thumb drive to the AV technician, a family friend. As the party reached its peak, she took the microphone. "Thank you all for being here on this night of celebration," she began, voice trembling with practiced emotion. "My journey hasn't been easy. I've faced darkness. But through faith, family, and finding my truth, I've learned to shine a light. This short clip is about that vulnerability." She nodded to the technician. The screen went dark, then lit up, but it wasn't the montage of scenic Italian hills and yoga sun salutations she expected. It was a grid of 12 of the most explicit, yet artistically composed, photos from her secret trove. They were tastefully blurred, but the nature of them was unmistakable. Lingerie, suggestive poses, props that left little to the imagination. Superimposed over the first image was her OnlyFans screen name and her monthly earnings from the previous month, a number in the high five figures. A collective, sharp gasp sucked the air out of the room. The image changed to a screenshot of the Breaking Point storyboard, her real hospital photos alongside her monetization notes. Then to a spreadsheet of payments, her real name visible. The screen went black. The silence was absolute, broken only by the clatter of a dropped champagne flute. Mia stood frozen, the microphone slipping from her hand with a deafening thud. My father's face was ashen. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. Pastor Evans's eyes were wide with horror. What is this?" My father finally boomed, staring at the technician, who was frantically pressing buttons. I didn't move from my seat. I took a slow sip of water, my heart hammering against my ribs. Mia found her voice, a shriek. "It's a hack, a malicious attack. Lily." She spun toward me, her finger pointing like a dagger. "This is you. You sick, jealous. Is that your screen name, Mia?" I asked, my voice calm and clear in the silence. "Are those your earnings? Did you or did you not storyboard our family's worst day as a content plan?" The room erupted. Her influencer friends looked equal parts shocked and intrigued. Our church relatives recoiled. My aunt fainted. Pastor Evans stepped forward, his face a mask of pastoral concern, now mixed with severe disapproval. "Mia, are these allegations true?" She spluttered, tears of rage now, not performance. It's taken out of context. It's art. It's body positivity. With a subscription fee?" my uncle muttered, loud enough to be heard. My father, mortification turning to fury, grabbed Mia's arm. "We are leaving. Now." He shot me a look of pure, undiluted hatred. "And you, do not come home." The party imploded. The rebirth was dead. The fallout was nuclear, but not in the way I'd naively hoped. My parents didn't see a schemer exposed. They saw a second scandal, a second humiliation perpetrated by me. Mia, the master narrator, spun a new tale on the drive home. I was obsessed with destroying her. I had fabricated the evidence. Perhaps by colluding with a jealous rival influencer. The hospital storyboard, me misrepresenting her therapy journals. The money was from private consulting. My accessing her files was a criminal breach. When I arrived home, the locks were changed. My belongings were in garbage bags on the porch. My father opened the door, his face stone. You have crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. You have humiliated this family, attacked your sister in the most vile way, and disgraced us in front of our spiritual community. You are not welcome here. You are no daughter of mine. I tried to speak, to show him the files I'd copied to my phone. He cut me off. I don't want to see your forgeries. Your jealousy has poisoned you. Mia is fragile. She made a mistake, perhaps, but what you did was calculated cruelty. Get off my property. Mia stood behind him, peeking out with red-rimmed eyes that held a glint of triumph. She had won. Again, I was 20 years old, homeless, with a mountain of student debt, and a part-time job at a print shop. My friend Sophie's family took me in, a temporary kindness in their crowded apartment. I was adrift, the coal of resentment now, a wildfire of rage and despair. The final blow came a month later. My parents had been holding my mail, including correspondence about my student loans and a potential scholarship for transfer students. I called, emailed, begged for them to forward it. Silence. My future was being held hostage in the house I was banned from. I knew their one unshakable pillar. They're standing at the Grace Point Evangelical Church. It was where they performed their ideal family. It was where Pastor Evans's opinion mattered. One Sunday, I waited in the church parking lot. When their sedan pulled in, I walked right up as my mother stepped out in her floral dress. I need my mail, my loan and scholarship documents. Today, my mother recoiled. How dare you show your face here? I dare because you're stealing my future. Again, my voice carried. Parishioners turned. My father stormed over. This is not the place. It's the perfect place, I said louder. You preach family and forgiveness here, but you kicked out your daughter for telling the truth, while you enable a liar who faked a suicide to steal from me. And now you're stealing my education. What does Pastor Evans think about that? A crowd was gathering. My father's face was purple. You are slandering your sister. Am I? Or is Mia slandering herself on the internet for $50,000 a month? I addressed a gathering crowd, my voice trembling not with fear, but with unleashed fury. Ask her about her subscription site. Ask her about the storyboard she made using photos from the day she supposedly tried to end her life. She didn't need therapy. She needed a camera and a credit card. Pastor Evans emerged, drawn by the commotion. What in heaven's name is going on? My parents are withholding my college mail because I exposed Mia's secret career as an adult content creator who monetized her fake suicide attempt. I stated flatly. The blunt words hung in the holy air. The pastor paled. He looked at my parents, their horrified faces confirming everything. Robert, Linda, is there truth to this? Before they could formulate a lie, I pulled out my phone. I have the screenshots, Pastor, the earnings, the storyboard with the hospital photos. Would you like to see what their fragile daughter has been building with the money she took from me? My mother let out a small cry. My father looked, for the first time, uncertain. The judgment of this flock was their currency, and I was burning it all down. Give her the mail, Robert, Pastor Evans said quietly, his voice heavy with disappointment. Now, and I expect to see your whole family in my office tomorrow morning for a very long conversation. Defeated in the one arena that mattered to them, my father hissed, "Be at the house at 7. It will be on the step." They scurried inside, avoiding the stares of their friends. That evening, at 7 sharp, a single cardboard box sat on the front porch. It contained my mail. It also contained, haphazardly thrown in, a few of my childhood things: a stuffed animal, some notebooks, a final petty insult. I sorted through the envelopes. The scholarship deadline had passed. I stared at the house, at the warm light in the windows, at the silhouette of my sister moving in the living room. The fury, the fight, drained out of me, leaving a cold, clear emptiness. I didn't knock. I didn't scream. I walked to the box, took out the stuffed animal, a worn-out dog my grandfather had given me, and placed it gently on the top step. I picked up the box of mail. Then I looked at the front door, imagining them inside, stewing in their self-righteousness, tending to the endlessly needy flame of Mia's ego. I spoke to the closed door, my voice steady and final. Keep your lies. Keep your golden child. I'm done paying for them. I turned my back on the house, the lawn, the life I'd known. The weight of the box was nothing compared to the weight that had lifted. The debt was still there. The road was hard, but it was mine. It was honest. I walked to Sophie's car and didn't look back, not once, because the past was a country I finally, irrevocably left behind.